Pahlavi text translated by EWS Part 4. Contents of the Nasks. Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1892. Dinkard, Book 8, Chapter 3, 1. The Varst Mansar, corresponding to the second word, Ahu in the Ahunava'ir, according to B.P. Rib, but it is the third Nask. In the other Rivayats, Varst Mansar means used as spells or employed as liturgy, and is often corrupted into Vahist Mantra in the Rivayats. For a detailed account of the contents of each of its 23 Fargards, see Book 9, Chapter 24 to 46. Contains particulars about the birth of Zarathustra, his attaining the religion, see Book 9, Chapter 24, and whatever is on the same subject. The final phrase is often used for unspecified details, and may be considered as equivalent to etc. It could also be an indication that they knew if there was more at some point. And the words of the Gathas, verse 2 ends, see Book 9, Chapter 25. Book 4, 1. The Bako, corresponding to the third word, the Irio in the Ahunava'ir, according to B.P. Riv, but it is the fourth Nask in other Rivayats. Bako means subdivision or apportionment, and is written Bog or Bogast in the Rivayats. For a detailed account of the contents of each of its 22 Fargards, see Book 9, Chapter 47 to 68. And the first saying of Revelation, the Ahunava'ir, see Chapter 2, and Book 9, Chapter 47, 3. The first creature, the Ahu, our spiritual Lord, who is the first creature mentioned in the Ahunava'ir, see Book 9, Chapter 47, verse 4. There's a couple similar words in ancient Egyptian that we might think of, right? Referring to the light beings. The intermingling of thought, med, with it, the Avestan ma'ite, the Bazand, mit, in Book 9, Chapter 47, verse 5, the Avestan Manas of Yasna 19:29, Sp, page 28, and what is said concerning the Bako. The section is an extreme condensation of the contents of Book 9, Chapters 48 to 68, Book 5, 1, amid the Dumdad, corresponding to the fourth word, Atha, and the Ahunava'ir, page 14, according to B.P. Rib, but it is the fifth Nask and other Rivayats. Dumdad means the creatures produce, and it is called Devazda Hamast, or Humast in the Rivayats, which also state that it contained 32 Karda, or subdivisions. No further particulars of this and the subsequent Nasks are given by the Dinkard beyond the contents of this 8th book. verse 5, preservation or disablement, epi karini dano of the creatures thereby. So far as the brief account of the Dinkard goes, it corresponds very well with much of the contents of the Bunda His, Zadsparam, in his selections. Chapter 9, 1 and 16 also quotes the Dinkard as the authority for certain details contained in the Bunda His, which work must therefore be considered as derived from this Nask. It is very probable, however, that the Nask contained much more information than is here hinted, because the author's usual plan in these brief summaries is evidently to confine his remarks to a few of the details near the beginning of each Nask. And chapter 6, on account of the Zand of the Nadar, corresponding to the fifth word, Ratus, in the Ahuna Va'ir, according to B.P. Riv, but it is the sixth Nask in other Ribyats, owing to its Zand, or Pahlavi version, having been lost. The author does not undertake to describe its contents, but the Ribyats state that it consisted of 35. There's this weird Z. Is it Surat or Slorod? Are compilations about astronomy and astrology. The traditional name of Nadar or Nadur is probably a misreading as Vaktar for Vakttar, more destined, and Vaktvar, fate-bringing, would be more intelligible of a reading of the same letters. Chapter 7, the Pagog, contains particulars about lawfully slaughtering a sheep for the ceremonial of fires. Pagog, corresponding to the sixth word, Ashad, in the Ahuna Va'ir, according to B.P. Riv, but it is the seventh Nask. In other Rivyats, Pagog probably means cooking, with reference to the preparations for the sacred feasts. It is called Pagam, Pakam, Pacham, Pazun in the Rivyats, which also state that it contained 22 Karda subdivisions, and an aid of a season festival. The 6 Gahanbars, our season festivals, are held on the 5 days, ending respectively with the 45th, 105th, 180th, 210th, 290th, and 365th days of the Parsi year. See Shayast Lashayast, 18.3 note. I've already talked about that here. We've 1 through 3 and 5 of the Pahlavi text, translated by E.W. West, is, posted. And 2, the fires and waters to be taken. The heart for the fires, and the forelegs for the waters, according to Shayast, chapter 9, verse 4, page 31. And the selection of the people for the Zota duty and the Raspi duty before the day. Did we skip one about the fires? No, did we say the heart for the fires, the forelegs for the waters, Kornishagos 9:4? Okay. The Zoti is the chief officiating priest in the ceremonial, and the Raspi is the assistant priest. And okay, verse 10, which are owing to the motion of the constellations, that is, the apparent motions of the Aktaran, or signs of the zodiac. Verse 11, because the 5 Gathic days, the 5 supplementary days, well, some years it would be 6, right? named after the 5 Gathas, which are added to the 12th month of 30 days to complete the 365 days of the year. They are also called Fravardikan, are those devoted to the Fravards, are Fravashis. The guardian spirits are prototypes of created beings who are supposed to revisit their old haunts on Earth during those days. The last 5 days of the 12th month are also considered a part of the same festival of 10 days, which would have terminated at the vernal equinox, as indicated in the text. I'm recording this on a summer solstice, by the way. About 1,000 of the Common Era, if the ordinary receding calendar of the Iranian Parsis were used, but it seems probable from Bundahis 25 that the calendar in those times was fixed for the new year to begin at the vernal equinox. And verse 22, about the amount of disaster, Pazan vo Egan. Verse 23, where and how many months are of such a kind, reading Gamgun in both places, but the 2 words may be Hamino, summer, and Kamino, wet weather. And how many of such a kind, reading Hamgun in both places, but the 2 words may be Hamino, summer, and Kamino, wet weather. That is the 5 Gathic days at the end of the year, the 5 supplementary days mentioned in verse 11, and